All right, y'all, what's up? So I decided to go to the Rose Garden today in Portland for a few reasons. One, I work tomorrow. I have a shift on Sunday. It's not really a shift. I'm doing check-in for my job, but I got to be there at 8 and I won't be done till 11. So I technically will still have the rest of my whole day, but you know, I've been trying to do these like weekend vlogs, and you all, since I've been back in Portland, I just really haven't done a lot. I haven't really gone a lot of places outside of like the supermarket and work. You know, I haven't really gone out and like been to a drag show in like months now, almost close. I don't want to say a year, but like it's been probably since like November since I've been to a drag show of last year, I think. No, has it been that long? No, because I did a show for my birthday in April. So yeah, no. So April, guys, I think was the last time I was like out like that. Christian, or Sunstar, as some of you know, is also out of town currently for another week. You know, taking care of some family stuff. Yes, I'm trying to fix my saggy titty because I don't understand why my titty's got to be showing like that right now. Okay. So, like I said, I went to the Rose Garden today. I bought these books on grief, which I'll show you once I get to where I'm going, but I'm going to Chipotle. I'm hungry, guys. So I'm bringing you all with me, and then I'm gonna call it that for the vlog, honestly. Just a check-in. This one is just gonna be a check-in on grief because, as most of you know, my sister did pass away a few weeks ago. It's the reason why I was in LA for 3 weeks. It's why I didn't post for 3 weeks, like on YouTube. I posted here and there because I was able to get the Beyonce whiskey and things like that, but they were very short vlogs, right? They weren't anything big. And I personally think I've been handling the death of my sister pretty well. I think I've been really trying to understand grief. This is not the first close family member I have lost. I'm very open about this on my channel. My grandmother, who took care of me the majority of my life, passed away when I was in the 9th grade. My mother passed away when I went to college. My freshman year of college, she passed away. And then my sister, of course, just recently passed away. So, and of course, my baby cat, Bosco, my very first ever animal, who was no stranger on the channel anyway, passed away last year in November. I think that I have learned a lot being an adult, growing through grief. I feel like I've kind of gone through grief. They're years apart, but each one felt different, right? Like I was really young when my grandmother died and had never really experienced death on that level, and so that was very eye-opening and wild. And then my mother died, and I was going off to be on my own and be in college and be a young adult and figure out life, and so that was wild, right? And then as I've gotten older, you know, I've learned a lot. And I've learned a few things about grief that I didn't know at one point, you know, because it's never really talked about a lot. One, I don't understand why, as a people and as a society, just as human beings, why we don't talk about grief more. Like, I don't get it. I understand it's a very hard topic, and it's uncomfortable at times, but I think talking about grief is one of the best ways to get help. You know, like, to figure it out. Like, one, I don't think you ever stop grieving. I don't believe in that. I believe time heals, but I think when we talk about grief, time just helps, you know, like it just moves you along, you know. And although time, I feel like during the grief process, just moves so slow. Like, I feel like although time around me is moving fast, right? The world around me, everyone's moving and going. But like, I feel very like slow paced, which I don't like. It's uncomfortable for me. And I've been trying to not get back into my routine, because what is even a routine at this point, but just figure it out, right? So like, I'm going to work And like work distracts me, but then there are moments even at work where I'm like, it just, everything is still going, you know? And yeah, I took some time away, but I'm like, I don't know, it just feels weird, you know? But this is how grief has always felt, I feel like, for me. And, you know, so like I said, I bought these books. I told myself this time we were going to try and figure this out in a different light than what I've done in the past. And I'm just going to be very transparent. In the past, like, you know, lots of partying, lots of drinking, lots of being out late for no reason, like things like that. Like, and that I think helps grief too, but I think it's a mask over grief. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's very like, this is a Band-Aid. And it's medicine for in the moment, and it's medicine for a few hours after, but then you wake up the next day hungover, hungry, tired, sad, crying, depressed, you know, like all these things, right? So I'm trying to actively not get into those patterns because they are very easy to fall into, right? Like, I haven't even really been to dinner with friends here in Portland. Not that I don't want to, not that people haven't reached out and asked or anything like that, but like, just honestly because I don't want to really start drinking. You know, like, so, but like, clearly I will go out for a cocktail eventually. You know, a girl needs a cocktail. But I went to, okay, so I'm saying all this to say I went to the Rose Garden today, you know, because I wanted to attempt to try to read these books that I bought off Amazon that I've been wanting to crack open and really get into. And I did, right? I got through 2.5 chapters of one book. And then I got through like a half of a chapter, maybe a full chapter in the other book. And I'm going to show you those in just a second. I'm just waiting to be able to pull into Chipotle. And of course, these cars are not driving fast enough for me to be able just to turn, because everybody drives slow here. And then you think you're going to go, and then 3 more cars pop up. And you're like, okay. And then the car that's waiting to make the left is going to come out because they've been waiting. Oh, but they went right. Thank God. Okay. Honestly, don't ask me why I'm at Chipotle at 1 o'clock on a Saturday during the rush hour of Chipotle. Don't know why I did that to myself. I just really love Chipotle, honestly, you all. And I just want a bowl. Big bag, big bag. Okay. So these are the books that I got. So I got a book called Welcome to the Grief Club, which is really cute, honestly, and very like animated, and just kind of, it's cute, right? Like, I really have I've enjoyed this one since I've opened it and started reading it. And then this one is It's Okay That You're Not Okay, Meeting Grief and Loss in a Culture That Doesn't Understand. And this book talks about society as a whole and like why grief is so hard for us to talk about and like ways to cope around that, you know, because like I feel like although I know everyone has tried to be there for me and love me, there are certain things that kind of jerk me a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't know, like I don't really know, I don't know how to explain it, but like, and I don't want this to come off like I'm saying to stop doing this, because I understand this is how people show compassion during grief. But like when people get weird about talking about it, you know, like I've been at work and like people will be like, oh my God, you were away for 3 weeks. Like, how was the vacation? And I'm like, oh, it wasn't a vacation. It was a family emergency. And they're like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry to hear that. You know, I hope everything's okay. Is everything okay? And I'm like, well, my sister died. And then people, oh, you know, like, and I'm like, like that kind of sits weird with me at times. But again, that's just because it's not like I'm walking around with a shirt that says my sister's dead. You know what I mean? So like, how are people supposed to react? You know what it's a lot. It has been a lot. I find myself sometimes getting angry at people being happy, which is weird to me. Not weird, but like, it's just, it goes back into that feeling of like, time is still going. People are still living life. People are still moving. People are still like grooving and shaking. And here I am. I'm just here. You know, and like, I'm happy-ish. But it's hard. It's just a very hard place to be in. And so I told myself that I was going to explore this grief and what this meant. and like, I was gonna remember that this grief is because I really loved my sister so much, and she was such a huge and important part of my life, and I love her. And it's, there are moments where I want to pick up the phone and call her. There are moments I want to text her. I haven't even removed her off my top friends thing on, like, if you have an iPhone, you can put the people up top of who you text more, and it puts them their picture, and like, you can pin them or whatever. I haven't taken her pin down. I feel weird doing that. Like, I visit her social medias frequently just to look at her pictures, and I get it. That is all a part of me showing that I love her so much, and I truly, truly do miss her a lot, even though she was sick for 2 years, even though, like, I guess I just never, you never really think like, oh, they're not going to be here. You know what I mean? And so that's like what I'm dealing with and what I'm trying to get through. And I'm just saying it out loud because I don't really get an opportunity a lot to talk like this, frankly. And like, of course I know all my friends would be like, call me, like, talk to me, blah, 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 blah. But like, also, like, I'm at a point right now where I got to figure it out for myself. And I welcome love, I welcome caring, I welcome tenderness and affection and all that right now from the people who love me. I will not say no to those things, but like, I'm working it out. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what this new life is, like, because life will not be the same. Life is not the same. And so, what is life? Honestly, what is my new life? What's the new Chris? What's the new Respect FM? Like, I feel more vulnerable. Hence why you all are getting this. And I think it's a good thing to share these things. Again, because we, as a society, we just don't talk about it. It's like weird. It's like taboo. People get all, and I'm like, people die. This is life. Like, if there's only 2 things certain in this world, is you will live, you'll be born, and you'll die. That's it. That's, like, and honestly, I'm just so thankful that I'm at a place in life right now where I am happy, like, I feel the most, like, put together I ever have. And I'm just happy for that. So this is hard, like, going through this and still trying to remain as positive and, like, still think about it like my life as a blessing and, like, all these things, so it is crazy, you all. And I'm also just trying not to eat myself to a fucking circle. All I want to do is eat. All I want to do is eat. And, like, I've legitimately, for me, not been eating as much. Like, a bitch don't miss a meal. A bitch want breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. Let's be serious. Okay? But, like, I've been doing, like, eating twice a day. A little breakfast, a big dinner. And, and, like, and, like, at night, instead of eating chocolate and ice cream and candy, I'm eating more bread. That's really what it is. I'm eating, like, just bread with cream cheese on it. Legit, I'm just toasting bread and putting cream cheese on it and eating it. Sometimes I'll put a little slice of Swiss cheese on top of it. But, like, like... yeah.